Hey sis, I just simply want to remind you of something that God showed me this morning. And it is this that consistency and being consistent is not about how much more you are doing, but instead it's about how you keep going, right? How you don't stop. And so, for many of us, we have this mindset that we have to do all of the things. And that is not the case at all. It's actually the opposite. We have to stop stopping. We have to find out what it is that prevents us from the continuation of what it is that we desire to do, or the continuation of doing something. And it is nuanced, but it is very, very important. One of the things that I know to be true is that in order to stop stopping, we have to enforce very specific boundaries. And that's like so paramount to what success will look like for us. Like, we cannot avoid boundaries. And I know for so many people that is hard because we don't want to enforce the boundaries, or we feel like, we're going to hurt somebody's feelings, or we feel like something is going to fall apart when we enforce a boundary. But the opposite is true. The boundary is going to allow you to be able to find time, make space, create solutions, do all the things that you desire to actually do. And so today, very, very simply, what is it that you want to accomplish? Put that thing in your mind and then enforce boundaries around it. Because half of the problem, I'm sure, is because you don't make enough space. You don't make enough time. Well, you'll say, I don't have time. No, you have to create time. You have to create space. And so the boundary that you set up will allow you to do that. And let me be very clear. It's a you thing, like something that you have to do, not necessarily something that others have to do around you, right? So don't go home and be like, you know what? I'm not doing it. You can't do this. No, it's not that at all. It's deciding what it is that you desire to do and creating space for that, making a boundary around that. So I know for me, I've been doing a lot of, and I've talked about it on the podcast, a lot of like planning and writing down a lot of things that will allow me to think less. So let me give you an example. Planning out my meals for the week. I'm really trying to get to where I can plan it out for the month, but definitely for the week, so that I don't have to think about it every day. I only think about it one time. That is a boundary. And what makes it a boundary is the fact that it doesn't keep coming up in my face every day in the week, because I've already allocated time for it, and I've put a system in place that allows me to not have to think about that anymore for the rest of the week. Another thing that I put in place is getting up earlier. It is a boundary really for myself. Like, honey, get out the bed, because you said you had things that you wanted to accomplish and there were things that you desire to do. And so nothing should prevent you from doing that. All you have to do is honor the word that you put in place to get up a little earlier. And guess what? Nobody else is in your way at said time, because everybody else is asleep, right? So by me and you, right, honoring your word and doing the things that you said you were going to do, it allows you to keep going. And it's, again, I will say this again because it was revolutionary for me. It's not about how much more you're doing. It's about the fact that you keep going, that you stop stopping. And so today is Friday. What's today's date? Friday, March 21st, I believe. We are a little over 3 months into 2025. And you got to do a self-assessment, because some of the stuff that you said you wanted to do in the beginning of the year, some of the revolutionary, life-changing things that you decided that you wanted to enforce in 2025, do a quick assessment and ask yourself, have I been consistent at pursuing said goal? We talked about this in the beginning of the year, that you have to relentlessly pursue that which you desire, or that which brings you freedom, or whatever it is that you are pursuing to do. It must be relentless. And part of being relentless, we've talked about this, is putting the boundaries in place and enforcing those boundaries. On another podcast, I said, stop moving the boundary, right? Stop negotiating with it. And today I am saying, make a decision about what it is that you want to enforce and put it in place. Don't so that you don't stopping. So that you don't stop. Like, come on, we can do this. We got this. Sorry that the podcast is a day or so late, maybe 2 days late, but I had to get here, and I'm not going to press record if I don't have a conviction about what it is that I desire to talk about. I was planned for something, and I'm still going to record that. But this morning I was so convicted to share because my own life experiences got me here, right? I found myself very, very overwhelmed this week. And a part of that was because I was negotiating with certain boundaries this week. I found myself, whereas I put certain things in place, I moved those things. I negotiated about those things. I got a little comfortable, and it threw me off. And so what I realized is that in order for me to be consistent, it's not about, continuing to produce, and overdo. It's more about honoring my word, not stopping, not negotiating a boundary that I set in place in my right mind so that I could have a specific result. So I want to encourage you to do that. I want to encourage you to be relentless about pursuing that which you desire. Make sure, if you have not already, you go to pressgo.goforassist.com to get the free, it's still free, ebook, Stop Stopping, so that you can get some tools on how to remain consistent. These are tools that I follow. It's helped me in many ways. And even when I come on here in the podcast, I talk about the how, when I'm not honoring the tools, here are the results. So I share both. And I want to be as transparent as possible. We got a lot of work to do, ladies. We have so much inside of us that we need to accomplish, and we cannot keep getting stuck. We cannot allow excuses to come up, be created, because we're not honoring the things that we know to do, and areas that we can enforce rules that will cause us to be successful. Okay. I love you. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you next week. Take care.